We all know you're not meant to judge a book by its cover, but we've all been drawn to certain books based on the way they look. Sure, it's unlikely to be the final push to a sale, but it might be what makes you stop and look in the first place. This is why a great cover is so important. It's often the first impression someone gets of your book and can go a long way to attracting potential customers. But how do you end up with a great cover? Here are some tips from our team. Don't worry if you don't have a firm idea of what you would like to see on your cover. Seek inspiration by looking on your bookshelves, browsing our website, or popping into a bookshop. If you're still struggling for an idea, it's fine to let us get on with it. We have a trusted set of designers who know our content well. You'll always get the chance to veto the cover, but we have deadlines to meet which we will share from the beginning. If you do have an idea of what you're looking for on your cover, it's fine to give ideas like an abstract image of a market, a building in China, or a group of children playing. If you can be as specific as possible, this helps the designer know what you're expecting to see. Speaking of designers, some authors have friends or family who would like to design the cover. Unless they are a professional designer, we try and avoid this option. We need to make sure we have rights and permissions globally, and often this is not the case. It's also worth keeping in mind that we work on covers early, at least 9 months before publication and sometimes earlier. The reason is that we will release your book information to the sales networks at least 6 months before publication. This might seem like a long time, but there are a lot of steps in the process, and we want to make sure this information is fed through to the international libraries and bookshops. Having a cover for a title is an immediate draw, which is why it's always better to release your book with one. It all helps the profile and increases sales. If you want to do some image research for your book, have a look at the type of images you think would be appropriate for your title and content, and images you just think won't work. Having both positive and negative images can help our designers find the right image a lot quicker. But there are some things to keep in mind when looking for images. The first is to avoid selecting iconic or famous images. A Picasso is a no-go. You can use it as a reference for the type of artwork you like, but we won't be able to use the image itself. Also, our books are designed in a portrait aspect, so if you're looking at images, then choose one that can fit a portrait book. Trying to resize a landscape picture often doesn't work and half of the image will be missing. It's also important to remember that your cover will be seen at very small sizes on websites like Amazon, so try not to choose an image that's too dark because they don't show up very well. We want to create a stylish cover with legible author names and title. Also, if your preferred images include an identifiable person or people, we will need a model release form to ensure the person photographed agreed their photo can be sold and used commercially. Most image websites provide this, but it's worth keeping in mind when searching. Finally, we can't promise to use your suggestions, but we will do our best and we will never use a cover that you aren't happy with. Our goal is always to end up with a cover that represents the content of your book and attracts the right audience.